Hey everybody, welcome to the Truck Driver Sean YouTube channel. It's come as like probably my number one requested video right now is to stack the Fortin Sigil against the Revv G20, which I'm just going to go right off the top and say there's really no clear and present winner as far as like what's a better amp. They both just have two different worlds of options, we'll call it. They're both 20 watt amps. So let's go through the specs real quick and we'll work our way top to the bottom. Top, we have the Revv. I got lucky and got one of the purple ones. Thank you, Derek, over at Revv. You're awesome. All right, so the Revv, as far as options, makes the Fortin look stupid as far as options go, all right? So you have two power ratings you can use, your low and your high, which would be a 4 watt or a 20 watt. And you have two channels. You have the pristine clean channel that you're used to getting on the Revv. And you also have their purple channel from their G100 series, which are the generator series. It's tight, it's aggressive. You can use it to play anything from blues to full-on death metal. It's got a large swing of options. Has a buffered effects loop that can run in series. It is run off 3 12AX7 and 2 6V6 tubes. It has no foot switch. It is MIDI capable. It also has the 2 notes reactive load built right into it, which gives you the whole 2 notes deal, which I still don't understand how all that works yet. I just know that when I plug it into my computer, it does amazing things and I'm recording. That's all I know. You have 6 onboard IRs, which if you play out live, you don't have to take nothing but your head with you. You can go right to front of house. It's going to sound phenomenal. All right? No fuss, no muss. You literally can go in with just that head and maybe a noise gate. It's got a lot of gain. All right. You can also use communication via USB, and you can also use headphones with it. It's a lot of options, a lot of knobs, all right? A shit ton of knobs. So down to its competitor, I guess, would be the Fortin Sigil. Or Sigil. Whatevs. I call it the Sigil. All right? Because I'm illiterate shit and I got a 50-50 chance on being right. All right. That is also a 20 watt amp. You have 3 channels because you can pull the boost on gain 1, which gives you kind of like a bluesy crunch, more so than the clean channel. To me, that's not a clean channel that's on that amp. We'll get to that in a minute. So you got 3 channels. You got your clean, your boosted clean, and that Fortin gain that just makes us all chubby right down in the love machine. You know what I'm saying? I love Fortin gain. I ain't gonna lie. I love it. You have a high and low choice with your standby switch. It gives you either a 6 watt or a 20 watt. Today we're going to be using all 20 watt, going through a Fortin 2x12 cab, because the Fortin 2x12 cab, the speakers run individually, so I'm literally running on the 8 ohm on each of these in the same cab. I'm using the same exact kind of cord, same exact guitar, so there's no fuckery going on. When these two go on, they have both the same chance to sound the same, right? It's powered by 4 12AX7s and 2 6V6. Now, here's our first difference. And you're going to notice it when I'm playing on the Revv, that the Revv sack isn't quite as girthy as the Fortin. That extra 12AX7 makes that much of a difference. It also comes with a foot switch. I like it when amps come with a foot switch. The Revv does not. Now, as of today, you can order a foot switch for your Revv D and G20 heads for like $130, I think. That's what it is. Yeah, it's worth it, okay? You can control stuff with it that it makes your amp do awesome stuff, all right? Like to see it come with the head, just saying. Like to see it be purple like the head so it matched. That ain't happening. But hey, who cares? Revv makes good stuff. Neither one of these are a bad option. Now let's get into the price. The Revv, you're looking at $1,400 to acquire the Revv. You can get the Sigil for $1,250. It's cheaper. Both are made fantastic. I know that people want to bitch about the Fortin having this whole standby switch issue. Yes, it does. When you first turn it on, the standby, if you have that gain roaring, you hit your string, you'll hear it. Let the tubes warm up. I know in today's generation, you don't wait for nothing. Old amps that were built indestructible and that were perfect, you had to wait for those tubes to warm up. You know, you don't just crank an old Marshall on and start jamming on it. It's going to sound like shit. It's going to make noise. You get the same problem with the Fortin. Give it a few minutes. Let it warm up. And that standby switch will give you no problems. Calm your tits. Be patient. Alright? Okay, so there you go. Again, we're using a Fortin 2x12 cab, which is underneath my mountain of guitars over here. I use it to actually boost the second row of guitars up, because space is limited, right? Okay, so we're going to start with the top, which would be the Revv. We're going to check out the clean channel on the Revv. Okay, so on the Revv, you can go over and you can hit the wide button. That's going to give you a little more of a, basically, calling it a wide button, it kind of tells you what's going on. And you can even boost a little bit. It's not much, just gives like a little spank, you know. Spanky. That's right. Alright, so there's the clean channel on the Revv. So, clean channel on the Fortin. Not so clean, right? Boost that clean. Gets that kind of like bluesy. You can even take and drive that gain halfway. Now, none for nothing. With the Sigil, it's all about the gain. Alright? The clean channel on this thing sucks. It's horrible. That's as clean all the way down. If I go any further, I believe it turns it off. Yeah. So already right there we see our very first difference in the Revv versus the Fortin. The Revv clean channel, it's just better. There's no way to fake that. It's just, it is what it is. But 9 out of 10 times, if you're buying something from Fortin, you're not looking for that clean channel. You're looking for the gain channel. Alright, so, without further ado, let's go right to the gain channel. No noise gates, no nothing. These are all just the amps and the 2x12. That's everything at noontime, alright? So we're going to turn some knobs, have a little bit of fun, dial in a quick metal tone, and then we'll be off to the Revv. Alright. That's why I love the Sigil. It's all dialed in. And that sizzle you hear with a noise gate completely goes away. I use a cock blocker. Soon we'll be using a phalanx. If it ever shows up. Jordan Gale, what's up, dude? Worth waiting for. Alright, so again, the gain is barely past 50%. We're going to jack that gain to the ceiling just to show you that it has far too much gain. Yeah. Past half. Sounds good, right? We can all agree on that. That's a bitchin' fucking metal tone. Standard tuning, by the way. Just standard drop D. Alright. So. There's the Fortin. Everything at noontime on the Revv. This is with no aggression. The aggression on blue. The aggression on Revv. And with a little pre-boost in there. Alright, so let's hit the Y button just for shits and giggles. Good for playing like a little bit of that stony doom shit. Alright, so let's dial in a tone. Get some gain, get some treble, scoop the mids a little bit, add a little bass. as you can tell, the Revv and the Fortin are two different animals with a lot of similarities, but they're very different amps. If you want to have an amp that's just for straight thug-ass chugging, you want to go chuggy with it, getting chuggy with it. You know, you want to really sit there and get your caveman on, and you don't care about nothing else. You just want to chug the fuck on, son. Get yourself a Fortin, all right? Save yourself a few dollars. The gain structure in that is ridiculous. You do not need a pedal, a noise gate, but you don't need an overdrive. You hook an overdrive up to that, I have to start asking questions like, why? Yeah. That Sigil for just straight up caveman chugging metal right out of the box. That amp is perfect. There's nothing I would change except for, I mean, come on, Fortin. It is your thing. How about putting the Zool in it? That would be dope. Just saying. Have it installed in it. You got room. I mean, you can have the switches for the Zool on the back. I mean, it's just one fucking knob. That would be awesome. That's about the only thing I would change. Is have the Zool built in. Alright. The Revv, no matter what you want to do, that amp is going to do it. You want to have those, you want to have that really, you want to be able to have it sound like what the Fortin does out of the box. You will need an overdrive pedal. I suggest the Direwolf by Revv Amplification or the Dead Wheeled Duality. Both those pedals will get you with a huge spectrum. If you want a very narrow spectrum but a very effective spectrum, the Peppers Pedals Dirty Tree is brilliant. They might have kind of emulated a Fortin 33, but it is what it is. But that Revv, as far as options, destroys the Fortin. As far as options, if you're the type of player that's playing live and you're doing tons of different stuff, you're playing metal, or if you're in a cover band that does a big spectrum, you got country, rock and roll, classics, modern stuff, something that takes pedals like a champ. The Revv it's really, at the end of the day, this is a blunt object. The Fortin is a blunt object. It's murderous, all right? It walks in with a club, it's got one tooth, it doesn't take very good care of it, and it will beat you to fucking death with that club, all right? That's all it's good for. The Revv is like a Swiss Army knife. It can do everything, and it does everything extremely well. The gain structure in it's great for setting you up for a platform like me. I love using overdrive pedals. I don't use them because I have to. I use them because I really enjoy overdrive pedals, all right? They're fantastic. How can you not like an overdrive pedal, right? Come the fuck on, son. You know what I'm saying? All right. So you've heard the differences. We put them against each other. Bang for the buck. I think they're both sitting perfectly where they are. I think $12.50 for the Fortin Sigil is awesome. I think it's worth that for that pedal, hands down. You pay a little bit more of a premium price for the Revv, but you're also getting a lot more amp. And you're also getting a sweet carrying bag. Yeah, Fortin ain't giving you that. That would have been kind of dope to get too. Little carrying bags. All the other lunchbox amps come with them, but the Fortin. But still, for $12.50, fuck the. If you can keep that price down, $12.50 for that amp. Trust me, that's a loud ass 20 watts. It's ridiculous. It's just stupid. The loudness level on that thing is just above and beyond ignorant. I think you could play with a drummer with that 20 watt head. Not so much with the Revv. The Revv doesn't push the way the Fortin does. But you also have to look at the fact that the Fortin is running 4 12AX7s, and the Revv is only running 3. So you're looking at that extra tube makes a difference. It just does. They're both about the same weight. Build quality on both is fantastic. I have no complaints of build quality on either one of them. I know a lot of people complain about the standby switch in the Fortin. We addressed that earlier. Just be patient. Let the friggin' amp warm up, all right? And you won't have that problem. No problems with the Revv. I've never had one. I know some people say it seems like the gain falls off, like they lose their gain structure. I've not yet to have that problem. I've got a lot of time on that thing. I love that head. It sounds great. At the end of the day, to be honest with you, if I had to pick one, if I could only have one of those two heads, I would go with the Revv. 100%, without any thought. I'd miss that Fortin sound. I really would. I would miss it. But having a clean channel, for me, when I don't use it very often, but when I do use it, I like it to sound good. And the Fortin just doesn't have it. But if you want to go nasty, you want to play extended range instruments, the Sigil, like I said, it's a blunt object. It really is. It's murderous. It's thugging as fuck. It's great, you know, for doing that metal. But it's not going to pretty it up and do other things really well. It can do it sort of kind of, but doesn't do it well. The Revv, on the other hand, does everything extremely well. So if you have to pick one, I say look at what you do for music and what sounds you're looking for, and try to think long term when you make a decision buying an amp. Because the resale on amps is never good. All right? If you get an amp, you don't like it, no one's going to give you what you paid for it. They just go fucking buy a brand new one themselves. You know? And every time you buy it used, remember that the value of things go down every day. Unless it's an incredible, rare thing. It is the way it is. All right. So gear used today, obviously, we're using a 2x12 Fortin cab. Great sounding cab. Thing weighs 1 billion pounds. It is a heavy, heavy cab. All cables are Kirlin cables going into the Revv G20 and the Fortin Sigil into my 2017 Paul Reed Smith Mark Tremonti Wood Library guitar and Jim Dunlop pick. That's it. No magic. The strings, though, people are like, dude, you sound kind of bright and snappy lately. Tell you right now, these new D'Addario strings come out. They're called Pro Steel. They're like $1 more than their regular nickels. Try them. They're fantastic. And I've not yet to break a string. But then again, I don't really ever break strings with D'Addario, so. I love that company. Been playing them for a long time. And yes, D'Addario, it's okay to send me a box of strings. It's okay. I'll let you. All right. Very cool. Any questions? Leave them down in the comments section. I imagine I'm going to get inundated with, oh, what the fuck? Listen, this is just how I use them. I gave you a good flavor of everything. I could sit here and have a 2-hour-long video going over these two amps. But really, at the end of the day, they both are fantastic. If you're lucky enough to own either one of these, you're winning the lottery. All right? That's really I feel lucky as shit to have both of them. You know? I shouldn't have both of them. You know what I'm saying? All right. Much love, man. Like, share, subscribe. Fortin, Revv. Lots of Solar guitars. Later, man. Be good. Catch you next video and shit. Ciao.